What's up, Internet? I'm Aries Van Dam. And on today's dating horror story, it's time for another compilation. That's right, compilation 3 today. So today's the first thing I wanted to talk about, and I almost made a full video about this phenomenon, but I didn't want to call out any anybody that I'm still friendly with for this one. Uh, Cuddle buddies or friends with benefits. I call them cuddle buddies because sometimes it's just cuddling. It's not really about the sex. Not at this age. I'm up there in age, so they're usually wanting the sex even more than I do. I just feel like sometimes I just want to watch a movie and I don't feel like doing it by myself. I just want to watch it with a chick. So I'll call her, ask her if she wants to come watch a movie. Sometimes sex happens, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes kissing, sometimes nothing. It doesn't mean you're going to have sex. It just means, hey, if we both feel like it, maybe so. It's usually an ex, somebody you dated in the past and just didn't work out. You just kind of, you still talk to them and, they need some physical release every once in a while, and so do you. So y'all just kind of have a mutually beneficial arrangement. But like I said, friends with benefits kind of just sounds like there's something that's gonna happen, and like I have a couple of them that nothing happens sometimes. Maybe we just cuddle and watch a movie. I like doing that. So you should have those because physical touch, that's what you're going to be missing whenever you're dating. Uh, maybe when you're married, I guess that might be a problem too. But cuddle buddies just kind of help you get used to touching women, get used to you being comfortable with women. Just makes you, you know, just, it's like a muscle. You just if you don't flex that muscle every once in a while, you kind of get sloppy. So it's good to keep that going, just so you don't get out of practice with. You want to be comfortable when you meet a new girl. So cuddle buddies help you achieve that, even if it's just cuddling. But they're good to have. So glad I got that one in. Second one. Now this one, I don't even have a word for it. I just call them divorcees for now. Like I mean, more specifically, it's divorcees from a loveless marriage. Like that's the key takeaway there. They need the loveless marriage part, and why these are so good, man. It is. It's fun to have sex with girls whenever they're like experiencing that contact. You know how I was telling you before with the cuddle buddies, how you sometimes you lose that muscle and you're not being touched a lot, and you just well, the divorcees from a loveless marriage. That's great. Like one of them, like this was 2 nights ago. She came by, and like I said, I'm not making a dating horror story on this one because there's other things, but um, and she hadn't been touched. She said in like 2 years, 2.5 years, and they all say that. Don't start believing them just because they say that. That's not always true. Usually, that means she ain't been touched since last night. But this one, you can tell when you get one that's actually truly from a loveless marriage and hasn't been, you know, practicing before she got there. You can tell. Like I literally, this girl, she came like 3 times before her panties came off. it's, it's. I could have sneezed and got it to go. Like you, literally, it's they're that amped up for it because it's been so long. If you just cuddle with them for a little bit, a couple of minutes of cuddling, and it's like a throbbing muscle. They're just like they don't. It's really fun. I can't recommend enough. Find you a divorcee from a loveless marriage, preferably one who tells you she hasn't dated in X amount of years. When the word years is in that since the last date, find out if it's real. And you can find that out just by cuddling with her. It's easy to tell someone who hadn't been touched in a long time because they're like, they don't even know what to do. They're like so awkward and stuff, but it's kind of fun because you get to lead. You get to be the guy in the driving seat because a lot of women they want to be in the driving seat even though they don't know where they're going. Well, divorcees, they're gonna let that happen because they're so dying for that physical touch. Oh, I was jealous. I was jealous. She nutted so many times. I literally like. Is that why people are trying to turn into women so that they can nut that many times? Cause it looked fun. It looked real fun. Anyway, that's beside the point. But yeah, divorces from a loveless marriage, they're a lot of fun. I'm not telling you might want to go out with them forever, but just to like experience that, yeah, yeah, can't recommend enough. Whew. And this third one I also met. This was from last week. Um, Butterfaces, girls with butterfaces. and she's getting a video made about her. I'm just kind of having to refine it because it's wild. That one, wait for the one on Butterfaces or the Butterface girl. But I'm recommending still, even in spite of that one being a little rambunctious, I still recommend Butterface girls. And I'm going to tell you why. Back in the day, that was like a negative connotation. The girl Butterface means she's not really, she doesn't really have a pretty face. And sometimes not even that it's not pretty. Sometimes it's just, she don't do anything to make it that way or whatever. But there are a bunch of things that you can call a Butterface. Maybe like a weird, anyway. But I mean, it means they're working out. So that means they have to have a good body because it wouldn't just be a butterface. It'd be an ugly chick if she had a bad body and an ugly face. So a butterface implies that they have a really good body. And just, the face ain't that pretty. I don't care about that. Like, uh, I've had I've had girls that I can tell, yeah, you were pretty when you were thin, but you're 250 pounds now. So yeah, you have a face I could imagine was pretty at one point, but it's like the size of a watermelon. So yeah. So butterfaces, definitely do not underestimate butterfaces because a girl with a good body, that sex is really good. It's like gymnastics. It's very it it's probably more fun than than the divorcee because but yeah, butterfaces I can't recommend enough. They're crazy too. I'm not pretending like you need to date them either, but they're still fun to see if you want to date them. The process. The process is fun with butterface girls for sure. And like I said, like I mean, the pretty girls now that aren't like athletic. I don't. I don't find it. I don't find. I'd rather just be able to have a nice body to look at or something. Like or if you're fat and you have a really pretty face and it's not like blown up like stretched out, that same thing I guess making a name for it. That'll be on the next compilation. you know Big chicks with pretty faces. I'll think something up for that. I'm sure there's a name. I'll have to go look. But yeah, we'll just keep butterfaces on this one. Keep it this way. I recommend it. And but you still got to deal with the craziness because they're still women. So still gonna have all the other pitfalls, but just don't just be like, oh, our face ain't that pretty. See what's underneath the hood, man. Like, because some women don't dress to show it off sometimes too. Um, I mean, I'll tell you the other story. You'll understand what I'm talking about. Yeah, give a butterface chick a chance. Why not? So now you can't say I'm shallow. I'm telling you to date ugly women. Peace.